Daniel chapter 1. Read 8 to 14.
But Daniel purposed in his heart that he would not defile himself with the portion of the king's meat.
He will not defile himself with the food in the king's table. Principle. He stood by his people and said, look, I cannot defile myself with the portion in the king's table. You must be able to stand on your principle. When you stand, no matter the pressure around you, no matter the situation, no matter the enjoyment, you stand by your principle. You stand by what you believe. Shout hallelujah.
Like you, Jesus, there's no one like you in all the earth.
OPM.
Dr. Jesus in action.
Dr. Jesus in action.
God is here.
I'm speechless. I was here at the other branch 15th of July 2015 to come and give testimony. In case anybody has doubt, go to YouTube, type 15th of July 2015. You can view my testimony again 3 years ago. I decided to come 3 years later to come and testify to the blessing that he gave me on this altar that day.
Now, in order for people that were not here when you shared the testimony, how was your condition when you came to OPM?
My life was shattered. I was a broken man, full of shame. I was a caricature. When people want to show an example of somebody that is suffering, they call my name. When people want to look at or appoint somebody that is selling his property, they call my name and tell people to go and ask me the one that is remaining so that they will buy. Until I located OPM.
Until I located OPM. Today, because you have located OPM, your story must change.
I can boldly tell you, I am no longer a broken man. I am now the breaking news. Every day by day, good news come in my life. Today's time, people are confused. Everybody is now doubting. Could this be true? What is happening in this man's life? This morning, when we wanted to come to the church from Abia State, I wanted to bring out documents of properties I bought. I brought that Ghana must go. My wife said, this is too much. Darling, let us just take the one of this year. Some. I said, okay, let's take this one of this year. So let me just start from last year, December, only. After seeing the blessing of God from 2015, 2017, I was appointed one of the people that will be honored with chieftaincy title in my village. And 28th of December, I was honored with a chieftaincy title. I'm now officially Chief Anodo. No longer the broken man. Apart from that, I was invited for a meeting at Umuahia, Capital Territory, for a peace deal when there was a misunderstanding among the leaders in the market, Stockfish Dealers Association, Abia State. As an observer, I did not know that that misunderstanding was designed by God to make me to stand out. After that meeting, after the peace meeting they wanted to make, unknown to me, one thing or the other happened. And right there in Umuahia, I was announced the chairman of Stockfish Dealers Association in Abia State on the radio.
Give Jesus a clap offering.
This was the same market where I will be moving around and people will be making caricature of me.
The same market, the same place you were looked down at, that same place you shall be looked up to.
Right now, I am the current chairman of Stockfish Dealers Association. In fact, the youngest ever chairman that market have known. For the first time, and by God's grace, the anointing of God is upon that market in Jesus' name. Now, apart from that, When I was having my challenges, I was selling my shop. In fact, I sold my 2 important shops in the market.
Oh,
But in that same market, right now as I speak to you, I have bought more than 40 shops in that market.
listen, oh, before he came to OPM, he has sold 2 of his shops in the market. But as he came to OPM, he had bought over 40 shops in that same market. Please give Jesus a clap offering.
Then, I was going to market with ladies' machine.
God.
But when this double anointing of OPM came upon my life, I can boldly tell you that I'm here to also dedicate 7 cars, the best of them all.
7 cars. Bring it here. 7 cars. 7 cars. Can you just measure some of the cars that are in this hand?
ROS 350 2017 model. Just yesterday was my wife's birthday. I gave her a Camry 2016 model.
Today, everything you have lost, God shall double it for you in the name of Jesus.
That is just one of them. In fact, I'm also dedicating a double 4-story building I built in World Bank, Aba. Double 4-story building. Double 4-story building.
Double 4-story building. A man that was selling his things when he came to OPM. Double 4-story building. In World Bank, Aba.
Anybody that have that, go to 25 Abagada Street and see for yourself what God is doing there. The testimony is too much. In fact, last week, I bought a shopping plaza in front of Cemetery Market.
God. Shopping plaza. SS power. SS power. SS power.
The testimonies are too much. Oh. I am an only son. Before I came to OPM, I had my 3 daughters. This is the first one.
Second one.
Second
Yes.
one.
3 girls. 3 beautiful girls. 1 girl. 2 girls.
3 girls.
3 girls.
And now this year, God have given me twins. And look at them. A boy and a girl.
Look at it. Look at them. Twins. Ejima. All round blessing. All round blessing. All round blessing.
SS power.
Surplus power.
The testimonies are too much. The testimonies are too much. I am here to rededicate myself to the God of OPM.
Oh.
Me and my wife agreed that we are already part of free education, OPM Pro education. So we agreed that we are coming here this morning. We are going to give 1 million naira to the free education.
I have a reason to praise my God for all the big things He's done for me.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. The rain they fall here. A man that came to OPM selling all his things. A man that is not there for poverty. Say, you want to explain who be poor, who they poor. See that man. Oh. It's done.
Like you, Jesus. There's no one like you in all the earth.
Our names are Mr. and Mrs. Chijoke Ngu. We are from Obogun community in Onega, River State. Our testimony is on resurrection. For a good 4 years, my husband lost his job. And we have been suffering, feeding nothing to feed with, soaking Gary from morning till night. No one to run to. And my husband is an orphan. I'm an orphan also. Everybody left us. We suffered for complete.
The husband is an orphan. She's an orphan. Two of them are orphanages.
And our television got spoiled. A day came, my husband, somebody called him to come and clear his yard for him. And the person paid him a little money. And I told him to repair the television since we have been boring in the house, nothing. So he repaired the television and also called somebody to come and fix this thing for us. And as I was scrolling and also OPM channel, already that channel has been there, but I don't know that such miracle that happened to us, we come out from this OPM channel. So my mind told me to just start watching on that channel. So I was watching OPM channel, and Daddy was preaching, saying, if church cannot change you, change your church. You know, he was just talking that place you have been going to that place, no results. What are you still doing there? Leave that place and come OPM. God will just change your story. I said, and before this time, me and my husband, we have been having so many issues. Sometimes we stay in the house 3 days, 1 week, we don't even talk to each other. Living like enemies in the house, like cat and dog. And when he came back in the house, and I told him about OPM. So he was watching OPM. He now said, that day was on Saturday. He said tomorrow morning he's going to come to OPM. Yes. That will not just be Obogu here and something is happening in our backyard there, we will not go and tap the blessing. So next morning he came here to OPM and picked assignment of job favor. And when he picked the first assignment, he spoiled it due to her, he don't know how to do it. He came back home that day. He was supposed to stay here for the mercy prayers, but he bring the assignment home. Then we another time to come back again and pick the second one. So we all came together and we did the mercy prayer here. And today, in fact, since that day, miracle has been happening. We that was begging, borrowing, telling people to lay us money. Sometimes I will go and buy okrika in credit and sell. I will not even sell at the money. The person will come and be harassing me. At the end of the day, nothing to show for. We will still stay, no food to eat. But today, my husband has paid all the debt that we are owing. And also, since the day that we stepped our 2 feet in OPM, we have been paying our tithes. Since that day, we have been coming to here. Every Sunday, we will not miss coming here. And since that day, there is no week that my husband will not have money on his pocket. Before, 20 naira will not even be on this pocket. And the first miracle that happened to him was a miracle of salvation. He was a man that does not believe in God. He doesn't go to church. You can't tell him anything about God. But the first day he came here, he stopped humanizing, stopped drinking. Sometimes he will drink and come home. You not even know that he's the man I married. He will be doing anyhow. Everywhere will be smelling, drinking. But now he has stopped all those things. He does not drink again. He doesn't humanize. Now, just day before yesterday, then called him for a job that he never even applied of. He never applied of that job. Yesterday, he started his job. Now, a car will come and look for him. Early morning, they will drive and come at house and pick him. 5 o'clock, they will bring him back. I said, I will not wait for the salary to come first. We will come and tell the doer of this big miracle, thank you. Because I know that better is not good enough. The best is always yet to come.
Once you come to OPM, story must change. Kneel down.